Welcome back to Mobile World Lunch. My name is Justin Springham. There's no shortage of wireless coverage here in Barcelona, but the fact is many people live and work in areas that don't have the same infrastructure. Theoretically, that's where Femtocell technology can help, by boosting coverage in areas where signals are weak. But does it live up to the hype? To answer the question, we've gathered a select group of subject matter experts. They are, to my immediate left, Will Franks of Ubiquisys, Simon Saunders from the Femto Forum, Gordon Mansfield, responsible for radio access network delivery at AT&T, and Manish Singh of Continuous Computing. Guys, thanks for joining us. So, Femtocells have been around for a couple of years. They've received a lot of hype. Where are we now, gentlemen, in terms of commercial deployments and real market progress? Perhaps, Simon, if you could kick things off with a State of the Union.
I'd be pleased to. Yeah, it's been a very active and busy year, and since Mobile World Congress last year, the number of commercial deployments of femtocells around the world have more than doubled. There are now 19 commercial services around the world. We've also seen those deployments change in nature. So last year, all of the deployments were just for the home environment. Today, about a third of the deployments are actually for enterprises as well as for residential. We've got deployments in rural areas to bring services where they wouldn't have otherwise been, and services that are public in busy places like shopping centres and even congress centres, funnily enough. What we've also seen is that femtocells are getting bigger, where we've got devices that are suited to very high capacity environments outdoors, enabling mobile data to continue to grow sustainably and economically for all concerned. They're also getting smaller, where devices are being provided which can, for example, be powered and run over a USB port. So a huge amount of evolution. We've got 34 operators who've committed to launch services in the next period of time, and a very strong pipeline beyond that.
And is this a global phenomenon as well, or are there certain parts of the world that are more advanced than others?
It's amazing actually that the different regions are kind of neck and neck. Originally, people had their bets as to whether Europe or US or Asia was going to be fastest ahead, and there have been surprises all the way through. Analysts are talking about, if, for example, Informa say they expect 49 million femtocells deployed in the market by 2014, but that's been mostly about residential. And now we've seen this further evolution, it's making it hard for them to call just how big the numbers get. And so we've got multiple operators in the US, in Europe, and in Asia, and tremendous growth beyond that.
Gordon, AT&T, obviously a leading US operator. I think you were one of the first to market to go out there with femtocells, and you've commercially deployed them. Talk to us, where are you today with deployment of femtocells, and what's been your initial feedback on that technology?
So initially we deployed, launched our commercial network nationwide last year. The uptake, it's really been targeted at customers that have poor in-home coverage, and so it's really a coverage play in the home where the consumer has difficulty getting coverage down in the basement or in different nooks and crannies of their home. Generally, the feedback has been well received. Customers that need the coverage have adopted the technology. Certainly, we continue to evolve it, improve it, come up with new innovation to have the interaction with that customer be as seamless and zero touch as possible, which we think is really crucial for that in-home experience.
Mm-hmm. And any idea where you would take this in future? I mean, what plans do you have for femtocells?
So currently we're definitely focused on our consumer product. From a commercial activity, we continuously evaluate small cell technology for enterprise and metro cell types of scenarios, where we do believe that femtocell type technology is going to play a key role. And so we don't have product plans that we're prepared to announce, but I have a key group of people that evaluate the technology together with other small cell options and are putting plans together.
Will, you're CTO and founder of a leading femtocell vendor. What are the main obstacles to wider adoption? We've obviously there's been some success, but how do we push this further into the market?
The obstacles, one has been price, but that one is coming down quickly. Where operators themselves can give these away for free, it makes a massive difference. So we've seen this with SoftBank in Japan, who announced last year they're going to give them away for free. So not surprisingly, the take-up has been absolutely massive. So I think that's probably one of the biggest one. There are concerns that operators have about interference. And there are techniques built into Femtocells and intelligence built in to make sure that those are mitigated.
Manish, any comments on what else we could do to further advance the progress of Femtocells?
Sure. Yeah, I think what we're seeing now at the very early stages of the Femto market is it's being used as a device to address the coverage issues. But really what we're seeing is this phenomenal growth of data on the networks, and literally around the globe, we're seeing data doubling on these networks every 12 to 18 months. And that's creating a significant capacity challenge on the networks. The networks are running hotter than ever before. And it brings a very fundamental question to the table is, going forward, how do we create more capacity on the networks, but create that in a very cost-effective manner? And I think that's the promise that Femtocells really bring to bear on the infrastructure side. As we look at the future, how do you put more capacity, put it more cost-effectively, and create an exponential solution for what we are faced with is an exponential problem.
Simon, question for you. There's a lot of talk at the moment about operators using Wi-Fi as a way of offloading data from their networks, and all this week we're talking about the capacity crunch. Is that a threat to the femtocell industry?
Well, no, and it might surprise you to learn that we actually think Wi-Fi is a great technology in its place. Wi-Fi is out there and operators are going to make use of it in appropriate ways. But you know, the smartphone-infested world of Mobile World Congress isn't representative of the whole world of users. You know, perhaps 3/4 of users or more have phones that don't have Wi-Fi in. Half the time, smartphones have Wi-Fi switched off. And then it's very difficult in many places, and Barcelona is no exception, to connect to the Wi-Fi and make it work well. Femtocells give operators a natural way to extend their networks and address the whole of that personal device traffic, and do it in a very managed, sustainable way. So they'll use Femtocells and Wi-Fi together for different types of traffic and in different ways. We've got products now from many of our members that integrate Femto and Wi-Fi together in a single unit. We have an initiative working on integrated Femtocell Wi-Fi networks to get the best of both. And we've actually worked out that Wi-Fi can be made better when there's a Femtocell present.
Gordon, you're in a kind of unique position as having a big Wi-Fi network. You have a fixed network and a mobile network. The CTO of Telstra this week describes using Femtocells as an admission of defeat. What are your thoughts on that?
So the reality is that as operators, we have to look at all technology, whether that be Wi-Fi, whether that be femtocell, small cell, or macro cell, and bring all of those together to deliver the best possible service to our customers. And so I don't really agree that Femtocells is admitting defeat as much as one of the tools that are in the toolbox to deliver our end customer the service that they want and they desire.
Well, Simon spoke earlier about the growing demand, not just from the residential market, but from the enterprise as well. Are you seeing that?
We're seeing a growing demand. Residential started, enterprise is growing now, and beyond that, rural. We have a lot of rural deployments, even on the end of satellite links, and then metro and the retail market. So it's going across a whole set of what we call classified small cell deployments.
And Manish, is that a trend you're seeing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what we've seen is the form factors for Femto are evolving. We started with the residential Femto. We're now seeing the device itself there's a growing need for putting more capacity in the device. But even further, looking further out, this all started with 3G. And what we're now looking at LTE, the fourth generation of wireless networks, and seeing a very critical role that Femtocell is going to play for the LTE networks, and already has started becoming a part of this 3GPP standard. It's already in there, and as we look at the operators' plans, they are already looking at, as Gordon said, a tool in their toolkit to put out the right network architecture, spectrum, and a network that's designed for capacity.
Well, we've got literally just a few seconds left, but if you could talk about your hopes for 2011, will this really be the breakthrough year for Femtocells?
Well, actually, from where I'm sitting, last year was the breakthrough year, so I just see it as massive growth now, which is fantastic.
Gentlemen, thanks very much for your time this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.